Local Groups BoF. If you're watching us on the stream and are nearby and would like to tell us something, join us. And I think we'll just pass the mic around and see what local groups have been up to. Would anybody like to go first? Oh, sorry, I'm Nattie. This is Weeze.
I'm Weasel. I'm not per se an organizer for a Debian local group, but I'm organizer for Chicago Python user group. It's kind of a local group.
Would anybody like to tell us what's going on? Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lucas Kanashiro, and I've been one of the organizer of the local group in Brasília, Brazil. We have been doing a bunch of stuff there, like mini DebConfs, Debian Days, and also we have been focused more nowadays on technical contributions. So we have a mentorship group for people interested on Debian packaging. We do have weekly meetings on Jitsi with everyone interested on any Debian-related topic. We are providing a bunch of service for our users locally. We have been doing a bunch of things. We will give a talk. I don't know exactly when about what we have been doing. So you all are invited to watch it and see with more details what we are up to. I think that's a good introduction. I think.
Does anybody else have any local activity to report? Not to put you on the spot, is there anything going on? Is there anything interesting going on in Japan?
Hey. Hello, everyone. I and he from Japan. Japanese local team, Debian JP project. We are member. In Japan, Tokyo Debian meeting every month. This workshop is seminar and hands-on and both every month, and open source event and seminar presentation. Activity をやってます。はい。Thank you.
Would you like to talk about what you're doing with local groups?
I'll just need to catch my breath first. I just woke up.
Shall we just talk about I can just briefly
Is it?
I can just briefly talk about what's going on in Belgium.
Here.
Have a mic. I think while Jonathan catches his breath, I will briefly talk about what's going on in Belgium. So far, not very much. We did have a 30th birthday party for Debian last year, and I think we're going to aim to try to unite both the Flemish and French-speaking communities, big project, and try to gather at least once a year. Is your breath sufficiently caught? Okay, let's find out what's going on in Cape Town.
Yeah, in South Africa, we're still a very new local group. We had some people join last year in India as well. And we plan to have a mini DebConf about March or April next year. So we want to do it this year, but time ran out. So that's about it that's going on at the moment.
Yes, I think... does anybody else have anything to report? Ireland, perhaps?
Yeah. We have a quite small community in Ireland. It's basically nowadays is I think me and Arthur. Tina is there as well, but I think Tina, we haven't really done anything really, right? So we meet up from time to time. I think last time was Debian Day, right? We just met up to eat and drink together, and we don't have much more going on besides that. So me and Arthur, for example, we are much more active in the Brazilian community remotely.
But I think it would be possible to expand the Irish groups. I think there are a few people who could probably be dragged in.
Yeah, there's a Dublin Linux user group. I've been to one of the meetings, but I only met, I think, 2 or 3 people. It was a small meeting. I know they're a bigger group. Overall, it's weird because Dublin doesn't have big OSS user groups as it should, because there's a lot of IT people in there. I think compared to other places, it's smaller than you would expect.
I tried to convince some people in work to understand more about Debian and maybe contribute, but it was like so hard. Yeah, everyone is so busy in that city, in Dublin City, so at least I tried. I will continue trying. Maybe in the future we find someone else. But yeah, if people are watching the stream, if you're from Ireland or Dublin, just reach out. I think we have our IRC channel, right? So just ping us on IRC and we start talking.
And in Brazil, something that we are doing, this semester we hosted a mini DebConf in Belo Horizonte, and now we are planning to make a lot of Debian days around the Brazil. So probably it will happen in 4 or 5 cities, but we are managing to contact a lot of people around the country to organize together.
Any more who would like to talk about what's going on for them locally? Would you like to?
So hi, I'm part of Debian India group. So we have like small programs going on. We have something called DebConf. So it's a mix of Debian events and other free software events. Yeah.
Another activity we're planning is at the end of next month, there's 2 point releases happening very close to each other again for the stable releases. But the problem with the boot team is there's not enough people to test the ISOs when they come out, because for every release there's like almost 20 ISOs that each have different use cases that need testing, like different file systems and other different methods. So my idea is to train a local group on how to use report bug, how to file bugs, and how to test ISOs so that we can take some load off of the boot team, because it's not that difficult to learn the actual testing, and at the same time they learn about features of Debian installer and of Debian in general while doing this work. So that's one of the things we want to do starting end of August.
Well, so I primarily organize with Chicago Python, where we have a monthly user group where we have a meetup and we have talks. We have a referral service for people looking for work, a mentoring program, what have you. It got out with the community that I come to DebConf, and now actually we have a lot of people asking about how to get more involved in Debian, and I kind of wanted to help Nattie organize this BoF because I'd actually like to put some of these people in touch with more user groups in North America, that area.
Yeah.
Or if there aren't any resources in terms of starting one.
Indeed.
Yeah, regarding this topic, like about attracting and retaining contributors, tomorrow Charles and I will give a talk in Bada after lunch about that, about our insights from Brazil, because we have been attracting many, like we have many new DMs and DDs from there, and we want to like present the problems that we found, the solutions that we are like using right now, and what are the problems that we still have. So maybe you are invited to attend our talk as well.
Awesome.
And like a bit unrelated to that, but related to local groups, something that we've seen that it's an issue at least for us, is like to give more visibility about the work that we do in our local groups. So what we're trying to do right now is like publishing like blog posts, things like that, with what we do, what we do, like some stuff that are not technical in general, but our plan and it's one of the things that we want to present tomorrow is like we want to add data sources to contributors Debian.org, for instance, for Debian event or organizing Debian events, people attending meetings, whatever. We want to create data sources for that, so everyone could track if someone is attending meeting somewhere. So maybe it would be a good idea to do that in general, not just for Brazilians. But to do that, we'll need to define a way to do this, so we can write our web scraper or whatever and populate in contributors Debian.org. So that's something that is on our list to do. So I don't know if other groups would be interested on that, if we could coordinate some work.
While we wait,
I think we have someone who's trying to access the Etherpad having problems.
I think you need a salsa login for that, but I don't really know. Yeah, I think for the Etherpad you need a salsa login. I was actually going to address the whole kind of one sort of having a unified listing of local groups. Well, I mean, we talk about this every time. At some point we'll actually implement it. And of course the matter of like local groups kind of sharing resources, because if you're starting your local group, you're not alone. We're here to help. We have an IRC channel, which is #Debian-local groups, all one string, which is a little bit inactive at the moment, but if people come and approach us with, help setting up or to tell us that they have a group, they'll be very, very welcome. Anyone else would like?
I like the idea of adding sources to contributors.debian.net so that it can show more of the work that people do and also motivate people to do a bit more so that they know it shows up somewhere in Debian. But I don't think we have any place to track bugs or to-do list items for the group. Do we have a place to to add so that we can track stuff that we want to do? Maybe a salsa bug tracker, or I don't know, a wiki page or something.
Yeah, for this specific case that we want to implement, like for instance, for organizing Debian days, like we have a wiki page, like where everyone at the city there. So my initial idea was, for instance, just to scrap this wiki page and populate the contributors Debian.org. For us in our local group in Brazil, we do use salsa issues and stuff like that. So we are planning to fetch data from there and populate contributors, but that's something specific to our group. I don't think other groups are doing things like we do, but we are open to discuss, to share what we do, to maybe find a unified way to do things with other local groups. So we are open to discuss things.
Chicago Python uses GitHub for this. Like, we just have a GitHub organization and issues submitted there.
Should I go ahead and just make a local group on Salsa, and then we just make bugs in there? Okay, cool. I'll take that task that if someone is making notes.
Does anybody else have any topics to add? Oh, yes. Jonathan just mentioned that Debian's birthday is coming. We will be 31. Last year we did have significant parties, and I think it provides a very nice excuse to sort of gather. So, yeah.
I think it's also an easy thing to do, buy a cake and getting some people together. So, yeah, maybe for someone who's just thinking of starting a local group, it might be a little bit of encouragement if you were thinking about this. Okay.
And of course, next year it'll be 32, so OX20, which is a nice round number.
Indeed. So yeah, maybe we can, if we, we're kind of already running short on time. It's like a bit more than 2 weeks, right? But maybe a few of us could do some blog posts and post it to Planet Debian saying that, look at all these cool photos from last year, people doing stuff all over there. If you want to do that too, all you need to do is buy a cake and announce it somewhere locally, and this is a process for claiming it back. This is your budget for doing so, and then at least they have some idea of what to do. And it gives them some practice on the Debian processes and using reimbursements at Debian.net and that kind of thing as well.
Like in my personal experience at the party we threw, we actually met some people that we'd never met before who were very interested in joining. So I think it's a very good way to attract people who would otherwise maybe be a little bit reluctant to jump right into a technical thing. Start with, grab them with a social thing and then reel them in.
Yeah, about this, like the Debian birthday, like in Brazil we are doing something different. Actually, this is an initiative from Paulo. Like we are a big country, so we have many cities, people willing to do that, but they do not know Debian process, they do not know how to get reimbursements or whatever. So what we're doing, like we spread the word around the country about that, and all the cities willing to do that, they got in touch with us. We created a group, like right now it's a Telegram group. It shouldn't be a Telegram group, but it's a Telegram group where people sent us like what they would want to do, if they need money to prepare something, whatever, and we are unifying everything, and we will ask the DPL, just one person, for money to do things for the whole country, and we will like it to be centralized, the reimbursement, and Paulo will spread the money through the other organizers in other cities. So maybe if there is a country that like big like Brazil, I don't know if like it makes sense for other countries, but this is one solution that we found to have more cities joining us in celebrating the Debian's birthday. So that's an idea.
Are there any questions?
No. Yoshi was just getting to
Sorry?
he was opening the TP for Pado, and you were anything there.
Okay. I think we've managed to discuss everything that we have the people for. So thank you for attending. Thank you all for telling us about your local happenings. And like I said, please find us on IRC on #Debian-local groups. Talk to you later. Bye.